Orgasmic enlightenment, where the sexual and spiritual come together. I'm Kim Anami, and I'm a holistic sex and relationship coach and a vaginal weightlifter. In this show, we explore all things intimate. I believe that our sexual energy is life force, creative energy, and we can use it to shape our worlds, strengthen our relationships, and self-actualize. I blend the most avant-garde information from neuroscience, ancient sexual practices like Tantra and Taoism, to renegade wellness modalities to show you how to create gourmet sex in your lives. Come one, come all. From 0 to multiple orgasms in weeks. I loved this conversation with our well-fucked all-star Sonja so much for so many reasons. First off, in line with the Anami Guarantee that anyone can, at any age and every stage, this woman had never really enjoyed sex. She didn't get what the big deal was about it, and she had only ever had her first clitoral orgasm in her late 40s. And then she had all the orgasms: G-spot, squirting, cervical, anal, nipple, full body when she did vaginal kung fu, all within weeks. An avalanche. She didn't buy into the narratives and excuses that a lot of people do, that it's too late. She's just one of those women who fill in the blank, doesn't like sex, doesn't have a high libido, just can't get there. She is post-menopause, and so everything must be dried up and dead, unless you take a fucking cornucopia of estrogen, antidepressants, and get your vagina electrocuted. No, bitch, just take vaginal kung fu. We also have a fantastic conversation about women's ideal cock size. All things being equal, what do women want? As in, how many inches exactly? I took a survey in WFW last year, the Well Fucked Woman Salon, and the results were totally unanimous. And as a man, if you don't measure up, how can you buy more inches? In this episode, Waking Up, Well Fucked All Stars. Hi, Sonja. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Kim. I'm so excited to be here.
All the way from Paris.
Yeah. Most beautiful city in the world.
So I was really excited to talk to you because your very first vaginal orgasms you've had in your 50s. And prior to that, sex you even described was something to be suffered through and even avoided. And then later in life, because some people get this idea, oh, it's too late for me. And it's never too late. So I wanted to talk to you about that. So tell me about this, your first vaginal orgasms and even your first orgasms period you said you had in your late 40s, like clitoral orgasm, and then the spectrum of vaginal and other orgasms now in your 50s.
So I just started a little bit from the beginning. The thing that I never had enjoyed sex was kind of weird to me because I grew up with a very cool mom, very, very cool mom, very open household. So she let my boyfriend sleep over, and she was one of the women who liked sex with men. And I think she just assumed that it was good for me too. And she never like talked to me about the possibility that it couldn't be good. And I had this little anecdote where I read in the girls' magazine about like self-pleasuring with a shower head, and I thought, how would that go? Like, should I shovel it in down there? It's way too big, and I don't know. I was raised openly, but I didn't get it, and I laid there for practically most of the time. I was also married for a long time. And like every time I had sex, I was like, I could be rubbing naked through the mud, and that would be much more useful for me than doing this thing here I'm doing. Actually, I fell surprisingly in love with women, and that was already like in my late 40s. And like for the first time, really, I kind of enjoyed sex, and I was like, okay, now we're talking. And so yeah, I had clitoral orgasms with her, and I had even multiple orgasms. And yeah, um, we didn't stay together very long, actually. Um, so that was with her. Really, it was the first time in my life when I thought, okay, now I know sex is not all for men, but can be great for women as well. And so I was searching really the internet, and yeah, one day I was really like praying, really praying, and saying to the universe, I don't get it. Why is there something that is only like in heterosexual relationships that is only good for men and not for women? And so I don't get it. Can you please explain it to me? And like basically, actually, the next day I came across you.
Oh, oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Ask and you shall receive.
yeah, that's right. So yeah, and I found you, and it gets even weirder, I guess. Because I like religiously listen to your podcast, and I read everything that was coming from you, and then at one point I was like, okay, I do want to do the WKF Saloon. And I do have to add that before I was already like once I ordered an ebook from a girl who said she would get like every woman to vaginal orgasms, and I read it and it was completely useless because all she said was, okay, you need to get in there, find your spot, and then tell your partner where it is. And I was like, okay, doesn't help at all. Doesn't help at all, really. And so I really I wanted to do the vaginal kung fu, and I was so excited about it. But and then it came up, and I really didn't have any money to pay for it, and I was like. I was in my apartment and I was praying the next time, and I was like, oh, if you want this, then just open a door. I mean, you send it to me. And yeah, actually, the registration closed, and I was like, oh fuck. And then the next day, I got like some money back from the tax department. It was like exactly the sum I needed, but the registration was closed, right? And so, and then the same day in the evening, I received an email from you which said, still want in. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's not possible. And yeah, so I came to join you.
Amazing. I love that story. And I love actually you talking about your prayer and asking the universe for help and guidance. And that's how you found me. And then you get this windfall in the mail of this money that, gives you the opportunity to go
Yeah,
forward with this. That's really beautiful. I love that you, despite whatever you might have been going through, maintain this connection with your whatever you want to call it, higher self, God, spirit, the universe, to help you move through these things.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm so happy. And that's where really like, that's where it all started, right? It was like for me really in the beginning, when like the first page was a lay of the land, and there you were saying that so first of all I felt very much connected to you, because you're very holistic, and so it really spoke to a lot of things that are important for me in my life. But also there's this part where you were saying, just take what you need and leave the rest, and I did that. And so I really, when I started with the VKF, and I started experiencing, And for me, it was really not so much like for other women to go on a clit fast or to put the vibrator down. For me, it was really to, for the first time, really experiencing pleasure after like, yeah, for more than half of my life, right? For me, there were no rules, no boundaries, no taboos, no negotiation. I just threw myself completely in it. I took out the whole treasure chest I took with me after the separation from my girlfriend, and I started playing. Exploring, crying with really no limits. I tried out everything that was in there. I followed the nerves from my clitoris along the outside wall of my body, like it's here, no, it's not here, go back, where is it? And then to the inside, and I traced every single part of my body to find out where my pleasure lines run. And yeah, and then as I said, I experienced, I cried, I played, I mixed them up, and I just played with all of them. Yeah.
Beautiful. So a lot of self-exploration, which is great. We really talk about that being
Yeah.
foundational, the know thyself, get to know your body. I even use a phrase like get to know every little nook and cranny, every corner and angle of your vagina, of your vulva, your outer anatomy, your inner anatomy, so that it's like second nature to you, right?
Yeah.
And so I love all of that. Tell me about your connection to the yoni egg, the jade egg. How did that factor
Oh,
everything for you?
oh my God. So when you were saying like every nook and cranny, that was exactly what I did. Like outside, inside, deep, shallow, like everything, every nook and cranny. That's what I did. And the yoni egg, oh my gosh. I before I had it, I followed your suggestions in the video series where I did the exercise without the yoni egg and with the finger, and then from the beginning, when I got the yoni egg, I exercised with it, and I sometimes even you said we shouldn't do it, like we should use it for our exercises, but I sometimes I kept it in me even a little longer just to have the numbness removed. So I visualized that everything numb would be going in there, and all the suffering memories from laying there would go in there, and then I'd cleanse it, and then I'd exercise again. So I fell in love with the yoni egg, really.
I love that. So, and then how did you know? So you're doing all this, what I call yoni reconnaissance, getting to
Yeah.
know and explore. Then you bring the egg into it. And so, what did you notice as your vagina got more awakened and stronger? How did you feel? And that how did that change? Well, first of all, I guess the orgasm. So I'm assuming that as you did that, you got more pleasure and
Yeah.
sensation within the yoni because, I say most women have numb vaginas and they just don't know what they're even capable of. So when you describe lying there and not really understanding what the big deal is from sex, right? Like when women have a numb vagina, that's super common. There can be, many other reasons for that too, but like more emotional and energetic, but it's certainly about being numb. So tell me what happened as it began to awaken.
So first I started to feel more alive from inside of me. I felt, obviously, when I used like my fingers or dildo or the egg, I felt more and more. I felt it be getting stronger, and I felt lubrication coming slowly. So yeah, I think overall I felt more alive, and then obviously, yeah, the um, the the nerve endings or whatever, like it got more sensitive, and I felt more and more, and it was not really not long because I was so dedicated to all of this, and I tried everything, and it was really not long after that I got a couple of weeks into it, I guess. I had my first it was mixed, like clitoral G-spot, and then from there something broke loose, and it didn't happen all in one day, but like from there over the next weeks, I started really experiencing G-spot orgasms, multiple clitoral orgasms. Like I tried your etching, I discovered the whole body orgasm. I and then I think, like, oh yeah, I played, and I I tried out things, and so I had like a couple of weeks afterwards, I had the first anal G-spot clitoral orgasm, like, together, and it was just wild. It was just wild, and it felt like slowly, like the rewiring started to, I don't know, I don't know what it was, like the nerve endings were waking up, my body was waking up. And then yeah, well, actually, at one point I had the first cervical orgasm, and like I'm so blown away by everything. When before I was, and I remember, like, the day before I met you, I told the universe, why is heterosex so horrible, and why is a woman only there to serve the man? And then I met you, and then all of a sudden I was experiencing this wild variation of pleasure in my body. And yeah, so I think I wrote it, but what I what I want to add, I'm really way after menopause, and it's not like a regular thing, but on some days I'm seeing some reddish fluid again, and I right now I often squirt just from touching my clitoris, which is, like, for me this is all wild, and I'm in total awe of the human body.
Oh, that's incredible. So well done. I mean, especially because I think part of the hardest element of this journey is the mental struggle where people, like you have this story, this narrative about heterosexual connection being so hard or unpleasurable, or it's just for the man, and yet you were still willing to be open to the possibility that it could be different, where those stories often stop people from even trying, right? From even giving something a chance and really dedicating, or they try a little bit and then they give up and they're like, oh, see, I was right all along. It's not possible. It doesn't work.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, the thing is that I wasn't with a man, right? I'm, like, for the first time for a couple of years now in my life, because I got married in my 20s, and, like, I'm alone right now. So it was like basically the experience with the woman who gave me some hope, and then all of this, I self pleasured, right? I followed you, I followed the saloon, I followed the exercises, I followed my heart, my soul, my body, my lines, whatever, my nerve endings, and it yeah. So yeah, but I gave it a shot, and I was so desperate to see if there was not more, and that's why I really threw myself in there. And, well, surprisingly, because I hear women saying that sometimes it takes just a super long time. But really, with the yoni egg and with my approach to not have any taboos, and to mix it all up, and to not limit myself, and to try everything out, it went, like, quote to quote, I mean, not in days, it took a while, but still it went fairly fast, I'd say, from going to basically nothing to having all this kind of variety, where I felt like a kid for the first time in a candy store.
I love it. And you mentioned as well, I didn't highlight this before, but you said that you're way past menopause.
Yeah.
And so for all these naysayers and people who want to say that women are just sexually dead after menopause and there's no hope, but maybe there's hope if they take drugs and hormones. And my argument is always, yeah, well, they're not well fucked. If these women were well fucked, they would be having the right kind of sex, right? Like waking up the vagina, discovering vaginal orgasms, having those on the regular. Those things all create such an integral and elegant hormonal balance that women don't experience these symptoms, right? That the average underfucked plebeian woman does.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, and I'm like the living proof, right? That, I mean, not only did my sex life not die after menopause, it really just started. And yes, it's still amazing. It's like sometimes I was sad, like, why didn't it start sooner? But then, like, after all, I'm just happy that after all these years of suffering, I know how it can feel. And it really, this work opened a new door to new life for me. And every time, as I said, like the saloon right now, I'm doing it on my own for the third time. And each time the healing goes deeper and the outcome is more rewarding. And yeah. So I do want to ask you something, because in general, like heterosexual was like useless for me, but there were like two occasions on where I mean, one was with a man that I really loved, really, really loved. He was until now the love of my life. So it was nice having him close. And when I was on my period and I had the tampon in, and then he was in me. That was amazing because the tampon touched my cervix. It never led to anything, but that was amazing. I remember. And also there was a little anecdote with my ex-girlfriend when she came in one night with a strap on and a dildo, and I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? Could you please like put it aside and just go down on me? And she was like, no, I want to try Angel. And I was like, I hated it all the way. And I mean, I'm so glad I'm with you right now, and can you please go down on me? And then she tried like with two different dildos, and I felt nothing. I was like, yawn, okay, now can you please, are you done? Can you come now and finish? And then she tried like this. She came up with this really big thing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you want to put me to hospital?" And she was like, "No, but we'll see." And I was like, "Okay, you stop if I scream." And she was like, "Yeah, if you're screaming like with pleasure, I don't stop." And then I mean, she, like, quote unquote, she didn't last it long enough for me to have anything, but there it was like, oh my gosh. So I felt something, and that led me to believe that, like, just today, this morning, I listened to your podcast, like, does size matter? And it was so funny where you said yes. So thanks for listening.
Wait,
And
I said, does science matter? Which podcast was this?
it was like about cock size. Yeah, does
Oh,
size
does
matter?
size matter? Right, right, right,
Yeah. So, but
right.
like for me, these two experiencing, when it was always shitty, but twice it was good. So led me to believe that maybe, at least for me, it does matter. I don't know.
Oh, listen, we did a survey in WFW last year. We were on a live call, on a Zoom call, had a group of, I don't know, maybe like a few hundred women on the call. And I asked everybody, what is your ideal cock size? So all um everything equal, right? The partner is otherwise exactly the same. What would be your ideal cock size? So I know you're in Europe, so I might have to do a quick conversion because I asked everybody in inches. So let me just quickly Okay, so do you want to guess what they all said? Because everyone said the exact same number. I had everyone type it in and all at the same time. So it wasn't even by looking at each other. Do you know what I mean? They gave the same answer. What do you think it was if you had to guess?
Oh
You can
my
guess
God.
in centimeters. I'll tell everybody what that is in inches.
So I don't know, but like from my experience, it must have been like really, yeah, must have been. I don't know if it actually just tell me. I really.
Okay, so the answer that everybody gave was 8 inches, which is 20 centimeters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that
So
right?
you ask women the truth, I
Oh my.
would say they all want 8 inches. Now,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I'm going to do a separate episode on this because I've said that if a man is really a great fucker, a great, all it's like, look, you can get by. I mean, 6 is kind of a minimum, maybe 5 inches, but really, all things equal, women want 8 inches of cock. If you're like an epic marathon fucker, okay, you can probably buy an inch with that. If you're an amazing, high value, masculine man, really great masculine energy, you can probably buy an inch with that. If you're a billionaire, you can buy an inch with that, right? So there you go. You just bought yourself 3 inches. If you're a 5 inch cock, there is hope for you. Um, so anyway, but yeah, look, I think that women need to get their cervix if they're to be, look, I always say if women are only ever having clitoral orgasms and then they have numb vaginas, they're going to feel like they don't like sex very much because it's
Yeah.
fucking boring. It's numb, they don't feel much. It's really
Yeah.
like you're doing the man a favor. He's just got this
Yeah.
receptacle to come into, and you're just kind of there to help him, right? Because you don't feel it. You're like, well, I don't really get what the big deal is because there is no big deal. And you'd be right. In that condition of having a numb vagina and being disconnected and never having deeper, more pleasurable penetration, you would be right. So I love that even the way you describe it, your journey when you did have deeper cervical penetration, something began to crack open in you, right? Something began to awaken like, oh, well, this is different. I
Yeah.
didn't see this coming, but there it is. And then now, even through VKF, learning about your anatomy, exploring it more intensely, and then having me also confirm that, look, the good stuff is all in the vagina, and the best stuff is at the deepest point in the vagina, which is at the cervix. And depending on the partner, like if you have a man with a shorter cock and a woman with a longer vagina, they may not do so well together, right? There's definitely like modifications you can make with sexual positions and the like, and then ultimately in Anami land, we get to a place of having energy sex where even if your cock wasn't physically the ideal, you could still be energetically penetrating the woman. And that's real. I'm not just fluffing
Yeah.
that up to make a guy feel better. That's true. And that's why in that podcast, Does Size Matter? I say when you get to that level, it matters much less because the penetration is so much more energetic that you really can fuck the shit out of somebody, even if you're less well endowed. If you are very well endowed and can fuck the shit out of someone, it's like a woman's probably on her knees every day to be like, what can I do to make your life better? Because you certainly make mine better. So, and
Yeah.
I'd also say that if women, like speaking to your case, if women have had very inexperienced lovers, if they've had two pump chumps, like guys who just come, within a few minutes, men who never really know their way around a woman's vagina and can help to awaken that for her, she really could go through her entire life not realizing how pleasurable intercourse, sex, penetration can be, right? And so that's not unusual, honestly, because that really is the norm, right? Statistically speaking, we know that most men come within 3 minutes They're like 80% of men come within 3 minutes. 95% of men come within 5 minutes. That means 95% of women are underfucked. I guarantee that, right? So 95% of women and plus, right? Because the outlying average is probably like 10 minutes max for sexual intercourse to last, right? So all these people, I put a post up on Instagram and I said, 1 in 100,000 people is well fucked. My estimation, but I would say that most people are not having life-changing sex. The very, very best that they normally come into the salons with is like she has clitoral orgasms quite regularly. They have sex 2 or 3 times a week. It might be 5 or 10 minutes long, but at least they feel like they're ticking that box. At least they are having sex, right? Because these couples will have friends or family who have sex once a year or every 2 years, you know? And so they're like, wow, like compared to them, we really are in the 99th percentile. And they are. But, just because 70% of America is overweight doesn't mean that being overweight is an ideal state, right? It just means it's the best of the worst, you know?
Yeah, but also like I mean, I was kind of before I was kind of always happy when it didn't last so long, and it was even
Right.
more suffering when it
Sure.
lasted long because I didn't feel
Right.
anything. So,
Right.
I mean,
That
so
makes
it's the
sense.
truth. Yeah,
If you don't feel anything and you're not connected, like you would want it to be over quickly. And I think
yeah,
that's couples end up kind of rationalizing, well, 5 minutes is all you need because the guy doesn't know how to last longer. And the woman is like, well, this is lame. So it's fine with me that it's over. And I can say that I've
yeah,
been a wife and I've done my wifely duty and we have sex and
right.
maybe then I pull out the vibrator afterward and have an orgasm, like that is the sum total of most people's sex lives, really.
Yeah, and it was mine, like really just yeah, I mean until my girlfriend and then until the saloon, which is not so long ago really. And I do want to add like one more thing. With the cervical orgasms, they are absolutely amazing. They're the deepest, so I'm totally aligned with you. It's just amazing what they can do. I love, love, love cervical orgasms. So now it's like I love that you can mix it up, and for me to have like multiple ones. One day a triple, and whole body orgasms, and clitoral cervical ones and G-spot anal ones. Yes, of course, I adore cervical orgasms, and I for like the emotional and spiritual and physical pleasure and realization that they're bringing. But I love really. I'm one of the women who loves clitoral pleasure as well. I adore whole body orgasms where my body shivers like for hours, and it's like I wouldn't even make like number one, three, one, two, three. For me, the most amazing thing and the best of all is to have discovered that to have a female body with whom you can be able to experience all this variety and all this kind of wild pleasure. That really is like the best part for me. The thing I love about you is that you're coming from all the different angles. You're working really holistically, like you're looking into the body and the emotions and the mental stuff and the spirituality, and you touch it from all different angles. And so yeah, we if we if we get in and if we do the work, we'll get there, as you said, as you say. If you build it, it will come, right? So I'm
Yeah.
amazed.
Well, it's a testament to your work and your perseverance, absolutely. And yes, I do talk about the multi-dimensional penetration, right? Like the best sex is many layered, physical, emotional, mental, energetic, spiritual. That's really Anami level gourmet sex, where we need all those levels of input and stimulation for it to be the most life-changing, the most elevating, transcendent experiences that we can have. So when you're looking at all these different orgasms you can have, clitoral, G-spot, squirting, cervical, anal, blended, do sometimes we talk in Anami land about using them as a prescription, right? Meaning you look at where you are energetically, your mood, even emotionally, and decide, you know what? I really need to get something up my ass right now. I really need to have an analgasm. Like things feel stuck and a bit heavy. And I think that is the perfect medicine. So, do you ever look at that consciously, or is it more just intuitive that you kind of gravitate towards what you seem to need in the moment?
If I look at it like the buffet metaphor I talked about, is I don't want every day like a 5-course meal with rosemary honey, and I don't want every day a kale avocado smoothie or every day sweet sticky mango rice, right? If we're in tune with our body, we gravitate also for our food, like we gravitate to what we need at the moment, right? The vitamins, the whatsoever. And I think it's the same thing with sex. I feel what I need, and my soul is telling me, and my body what I need right now. And this is what I find so amazing, that yeah, to have this variety, and to be able to choose whatever you need at this moment. Yeah.
So, like, after going 50 years,
Oh,
roughly, you had clitoral orgasms and then this cornucopia of the other deeper kinds. How did you notice yourself change as a person, as a woman? Because, in Anami land, we always talk about these correlations that when you become sexually self-realized, you become overall much more self-realized, like you become more of the person you're meant to be.
so like, first of all, I love your like not giving a fuck anymore, but I was always like that. I mean, I was like that as a kid. So that is
Good. Great.
yeah, so really yeah, I mean in my work, of course, like I need to well, be careful, but usually in my private life I'm like I don't give a fuck. And I was always like that. So that didn't change much. But what changed, and I can really point my finger at this. I mean there's a lot of work to do, and I don't know if we will ever like be totally there in this life, but I feel way more centered and in harmony and balance than ever before in all of my life. Even in like when I said like this one guy that he was until now the love of my life, or maybe still is in my heart. It was really kind of the most beautiful phase in my life with him, but still, I never, even in this time, I never felt even close to this wholeness and balance and serenity that I feel right now. So I'd say that this is really the biggest shift. The second shift is that it I feel I have a much more optimistic outlook, right, on life, and I'm way calmer, and things that like years before would have thrown me completely off, like crying, screaming, going crazy. I breathe, I meditate, I might shed a tear. I There might be a moment of what to do now, and this is shitty, but it doesn't throw me off anymore. It's like I feel centered and stable and way more in peace. I think that is the main thing I can say. I'll be forever thankful, and I hope that I'll find a way like to let as much women as possibly know that that is there's a new door, a new life, a new world, and it's Yeah, absolutely incredibly amazing to be a woman and to have a female body. So yeah, thank you very, very, very much, Kim. That's all I can say.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Sonia. I'm so glad to hear all of this and so happy to hear. I'm always so proud of people when they are faced with what might seem and feel insurmountable, like very challenging to get past, being at the age that you are, which so many people use as an excuse, right? Why not to succeed? And to hear you really just triumph through it is amazing. So well done.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so incredibly happy.
Thank you for being here and for sharing your story, Sonia.
Well, thank you so very much. And yeah, I hope you get a lot of more women in your class and to show them what an amazing life is possible. And I want to say I love that we have lifetime access because as I said, I'm going right now. It's my third time I'm going through the salon, and it's so helpful to do it on your pace. And I feel every time I'm doing it, there's another nook, another cranny. The healing goes deeper, and yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sonia. The Vaginal Kung Fu Salon is open now. In this 10-week immersion, you will become a maestro of all things vaginal and sexual. You will learn my step-by-step guided vaginal weightlifting routine with the jade yoni egg, yoni massage to de-numb and activate your vagina, quantum techniques to clear your blocks and illuminate your sexual shadow, breast massage to tone, lift, and enlarge the breast. Women gain an entire cup size with these techniques, natural birth control and detoxing off the pill, how to make menstruation and menopause the energizing and rejuvenating portals they were meant to be, how to give a vaginal hand job, and how to use your sexual energy to heal yourself, including my sexual position mood guide. Go to kimanami.com, look for Sexual Savant Salons, and then click on Vaginal Kung Fu to sign up. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and send somebody else the gift of a multi-orgasmic and transformational love life by sharing this episode with them. If you'd like to go deeper into all things orgasms, sign up for my free Orgasmopedia series where you'll learn about 9 different types of orgasms everyone can have. Go to kimanami.com and you'll see the sign up there. Come one, come all.